Hi, class. We want to continue talking about percents. We looked at changing a percent to a fraction. Now we want to change a fraction to a percent. So we want to change a fraction to a percent. Okay. Now, to change a fraction to a percent, we can do one of two things. We can change the fraction to a decimal and then change the decimal to a percent. Okay. Now, if the decimal does not stop, divide it out to 3 decimal places and round. Or we can multiply the fraction by 100. So let's take a look at both ways and see what you like. Okay. All right. So let's change this to a percent. And I'm going to use the second method first. 1/7 times 100. That's 100 over 7. And then we divide. And let's see. All right, so 7 to go, and let me move it down a little bit. So 7 into 100, put my decimal, bring that up. 7 will divide 10 one times 7 is 7, subtract 30, 7 to go into 30 4 times 7 is 28. 2 and x is 0, 7 to go into 20, 2 times 7 is 14, subtract 6. 7 to go into 60, 8 times 7 is 56. Subtract, we get 4 and x is 0. 7 to go into 45 times. So we take it out 3 decimal places, and then we can round it to the nearest hundredth, or we can round it to the nearest tenth. So if we round this to the nearest tenth, we would get 14.3. If we round this to the nearest hundredth, we get 14.29, because in each case, the number to the right is 5 or more. Okay. All right, let's take a look at 1.5, which was the next one. All right, we want to change 1.5 to a percent. Okay, so it says multiply by 100. So now we're multiplying fractions. So I need to change this to a fraction. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 gives me 3, times 100 over 1. Now we can look along the diagonals. 2 will go into 2 one time. 2 will go into 150 times. Top times the top. So this is going to be 150%. And now we need to come back over here. This was 14.3% and 14.29%. Okay. Now, let's say that you want to use the first method, change it to a decimal. Okay. So we had 1/7. So 7 to go into 10, 1 times 7 is 7, subtract 3, add a 0. 7 to go into 30 4 times 7 is 28, subtract 2. 7 to go into 20 2 times 7 is 14, 6, and x is 0, 8. So this is 0.1428, and then you would change this decimal to a percent. We know how to change a decimal to a percent. We move the decimal 2 places to the right. So 14.28%. So you could use either method you want, multiply it by 100, or just change the fraction to a decimal and then change the decimal to a percent. All right, write 60 over 100 as a percent. Okay, now we can do this three ways. Anytime the denominator is 100, the top number is a percent. Okay, so this is 60%. Okay, the other way we can do it is we can say 60 over 100 times 100. This and this cancels and we get 60%. Or we can say 100 into 60, change it to a decimal. 100 going to 600 6 times 600. And then we move the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2, 60%. Okay. Now, let's look at some fraction families. This is the 1/4 family. So once you know the first one, then all the others you can get by adding. So if 1/4 is 25%, 2/4 has to be 25 plus 25, which is a half, which is 50%. 3/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 25, 25, 25, which is 75%. And 4/4 would be all, which would be 1 whole, which is 100%. All right, this is the 1/5 family. 1/5 is 20%. 1/5 times 100 is 20. So you get 20%. So 2/5 will be 1/5 plus 1/5, 20 plus 20, 40%. 3/5 will be 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5, 20 plus 20 plus 20 equals 60. 4/5 1 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5, 20, 40, 60, 80. And then 5/5 would be a whole, which is 100%. All right, and then we have the 1/8 family. 1/8 is 12.5%. Okay, so you have 1/8 plus 1/8, 12.5 plus 12.5 is 25%. Now 1/8 plus 1/8 is going to be 2/8, which is 1/4. Okay, and you could continue this on 3/8, 4/8, 5/8, 6/8, 7/8, 8/8. And so here we are here. Okay, so 3/8, you add this 3 times and you get 37.5%. 4/8 is a half, which is 50%. And so if I add 2/8 plus 2/8, I get 50%. 5/8 is 4/8 plus 1/8, 50% plus 12.5 is 62.5%. 6/8 is 3/4, that's 75%. Okay, 2/4 plus 1/4, 50 plus 25, 75. All right, 7/8 times 100 is 175 over 2, so we get 87.5%. Okay, and then finally, 8 over 8 is a whole, and that's 100%. And you can just multiply it by 100 and you get 100%. Then we have the 1/3 family. Okay, so 1/3 times 100 is 100 over 3, 33 1/3%. 2/3 times 100 is 200 over 3, which is 66 2/3%. Or we can say 1/3 plus 1/3. And then finally 3/3 equals 100, which is 100%. Okay, so this is the third family. Okay, all right. So let's summarize what we have looked at. To change a fraction to a percent, multiply the fraction by 100. Use your rules of multiplying by fractions. And then we also looked at the family of fractions, the 1/4, 1/5. All right. We also looked at 1/8 and 1/3. To change a percent to a decimal, move the decimal 2 places to the left. To change a decimal to a percent, move the decimal 2 places to the right. Okay. To change a percent to a fraction, put the number over 100, then reduce. You may need to change the division bar to the 2 dots in a bar. To change a fraction to a percent, multiply the fraction by 100, then reduce. To change a fraction to a percent, we could change the percent to a decimal and then change the decimal to a percent. So that's interchanging fractions, decimals, and percents. Okay.